You are now tuned into Talking at the Movies with your hosts, Eddie, Salim, and Mo.
Why are you dancing?
Was everyone looking at me?
Yeah,
Isn't this going to be a problem?
No,
Because I'm going to be like in both. So are you. So are these guys.
Once you sync it up,
both, Mo.
once you sync it up, it doesn't matter. I used to record on 2 cameras and have to sync all those up.
Listen, it's
But
just,
that's different. You've got us on that mic and you've got us on this
just
mic.
leave the technical side to us.
Ed,
Mo.
don't leave it to Ed. Don't leave it.
I don't
even understand what
to us, Mo.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Talk.
What's up?
What the fuck? I always forget the name of our fucking podcast.
It's
Talking
simple.
at the movie.
How could you forget that?
It's all the YouTube shit, man. I get confused. Seriously.
No, this ain't Talking at the Movies. We're on Rift right now.
Fuck off. Welcome back to Talking at the Movies with myself, Ed Reese and Antonio.
It's your boy Salim here.
It's knowledgeable Mo.
And we are joined by
Uz from DC, I guess. All forms of DC, and and pretty much I'm the one who kind of sends in these guys loads of questions and things like that. So yeah, I'm glad to be coming on this.
We love his questions. That's why we dragged him down on purpose to join us.
I
on the
thought I
podcast.
was actually coming to feed Mo's cats, but I just ended up on this dragged on this podcast. So.
fellow podcaster. Let's get out of the way.
Yeah.
Name your podcast again.
DC versus Marvel podcast.
And it's just basically a man posing as a impartial entity, but truly a DC.
Oh, blatantly, yeah. It's
Loyalist.
actually, it's like I've got a mate of mine who loves Marvel, but I don't let him speak a lot. Just kind of just talk over him and just say how great
that
DC
poor
is.
guy never gets to speak on your show.
He does. He just gets muted a little bit.
So, what are we getting into today? What you guys been watching during this week?
We talk about like the main feature this week.
Spider-Man?
No, Castlevania.
There is a darkness upon the land. A savior is needed.
Who are you?
The man who'll kill Dracula.
Castlevania. If you haven't watched it yet, stop what you're doing, stop listening to this podcast, go and watch all 4 episodes, and then come back and listen to the remainder of this podcast.
So this is the Netflix animated adaptation of the Capcom, or Konami.
Konami.
I've always,
Konami.
I've always said Konami, but
It is Konami.
Yeah,
Konami. Yeah, this makes sense. So, is it good? How
So
long is it? How
it
many
is.
episodes?
So we got 4 episodes, all of around about 22 minutes each,
That
and it is definitely not aimed at kids because there's a lot of goat fucking jokes, there's a lot of use of the word fuck, and there is a lot of blood.
and why can't kids partake in those conversations?
Well, if they were my kids, I'd absolutely let them, but I don't have kids, which is probably a good thing.
True.
But we have a man who has kids here.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think.
There you go.
Want them to know about
There you go,
what
Eddie.
people do with goats.
That's
and,
exactly why you wouldn't let kids watch it.
They need to understand the dangers of the world and what people avoid.
Just let them watch the first episode.
As the first episode
Yeah.
got a lot of.
I would not let them
interaction with
watch
goats.
a minute of it. If you're under the age of like 25, I would not let them watch it.
Yeah, which is like Eddie's cut off.
Fine.
So you guys like watched the first episode before we started.
Yeah,
What did you think?
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I like the style of the animation. I like that it is darker and mature. And it's nice getting back into that Castlevania world, because I played it a lot as a kid, but I never revisited it since in
Yeah,
other versions of the game.
See, I didn't play Castlevania all that much. Obviously, when I borrowed your Game Boy and busted it, that's where I recall playing Castlevania.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. What was that?
Thank you for that, man.
Yeah. But watching Castlevania,
Never pay me back.
yeah, that's because your mum dropped it down the stairs and it started working again. That's why I didn't pay you back. There. but the thing that I picked up the most on this, apart from the actual script and the visual look of the anime, is friggin' how powerful they made Dracula.
You're obsessed with this.
Dude, I've never seen Dracula this insane ever before. And it's wicked because he's like Satan and Dracula and God all in one.
God.
Well, alright, okay, maybe not God, but just like Satan and Dracula emerged in one.
This is getting you excited. Like
It
you
is.
want to follow someone like this. Then is this what it could be if I went to the other side? Like, well,
Dude, man, I just was so mesmerized by it because this is this is how I always wanted to see Dracula. I've always wanted to see him like this, and it's wicked to see that he's super powered up, and now with what's that main character's name who battles him?
The Belmont, Trevor Belmont.
Yeah, how he deals with Dracula from this point onwards.
what I do like is they made Dracula up until the point where he started slaughtering everybody in the first episode. They made him very sympathetic. Like you didn't blame him.
Well, actually, do you blame him for slaughtering all those people? Because he's done it for a really human reason, and then they mocked him.
Exactly, that's the point. Like I'm saying, like this is. Am I supposed to root for the guy that's trying to kill him now after this?
No, this is a good point. That's a really good point because that's exactly how I felt as well.
So what do you give it? You've seen it all.
So I've seen all four episodes. This literally, you can tell this is just it. It's just getting the sides wet. They're just making you more hungry for more. So there's another 8 episodes to come.
Oh, so it's not okay.
So they're saying that's season 2. So whether that's going to come later in the year, like they did with Voltron, or whether it's going to come next year, I don't know.
Oh, so what do you mean? It's cut. The season's cut in half.
No. They're basically saying
so this is a complete story.
It's a complete story, but like with a cliffhanger ending. So it's like any season. Yeah. Any TV show.
It's just 4 episodes, isn't that much, man. Especially if they're only 25
but then if you think about it, there's no filler. It's all like pure story.
Okay. So what do you give it out of 5?
I would give that an easy 4.5. Okay. I'd give it a 5 if there'd been a few more episodes. That was the highlight of the week, apart from finishing off Veep, which I don't think any of you boys watch.
I watch it.
I
haven't seen
this season.
But I love Veep.
I think they have set up the next season of Veep to mirror the Hillary versus Trump so well.
Really?
Because they really have got like a moron of a candidate who's running for president for next season. I won't spoil it for you, but they really have built it up that way. And if they're trying to mirror real life, I suspect that character will then win the race for the presidency.
Is she more likable now? Because she really started to get
She
despicable.
is not likable in the least, but she, like, every now and then you just feel so sorry for her because they do make her feel so human. But she is the absolute, like, just worst of humanity, that woman.
Okay. Salem.
Oh boy. Well, listen, I haven't actually been watching anything. I can't wait until we get onto the main event. But I do want to know. I do want to know about this.
Didn't watch Preacher.
Oh no, I didn't watch Preacher.
American Gods.
I wanted to watch American Gods. I didn't watch that
watch
either.
Glow.
No, didn't watch that.
Hold
Every
on.
week.
Didn't you say last week you're going to check out Preacher?
Every week.
You know what? I needed a streaming site,
Just
and I
never
called
bought.
up Eddie and I said, "Dude,
Stop being so
please,
cheap.
Can you
£10 a month.
Pass me the code
So
for a
damn
streaming
cheap.
site." And he goes, "No, with all the travelling stuff that I do, and I don't charge Eddie. At least you could pass me like the code for his what?
Don't charge Eddie.
Well, every once in a did I charge you today?"
Because I already gave you money before.
But listen, before we get onto that, I want to get Uz's take on a film that he watched.
You're gonna push it aside.
Well, I want to know about it because I want to head down to MacD's straight after this.
Uzman, save us from this debacle.
Okay, well,
I've seen this week.
I saw. Well, okay, if we're saying exactly a week, then I've had 50-50. I've seen 2 of probably the most crappiest films I've ever seen, and 2 kind of decent films there this week. So if we're talking almost bang on a week, I saw All Eyes on Me and Transformers, which are both.
Those were your good films, right?
Yeah, those are the top end quality films, right? And
Which
then
is the worst? That's what I want to know.
Oh, Transformers by a mile, by absolute mile. It's like I could go on for ages saying how crap these films are, but the lowlights are. In the whole thing we've had Bumblebee. Bumblebee's had this kind of thing that he can't say anything because he's had problems with his voice box. Never been able to fix it, and eventually they get this voice box for him, and they think, yeah, he's sorted it out. They put this voice box on, and it's a girl's voice, so he rips it out of his throat. So he's got no voice box, right?
Wait, does Bumblebee a chick?
It's dumb. He's a robot. He could just get an iPhone, stick it in his neck,
and they could, they've been able to fix all these kind of things. They've never been able to fix it. Anyway, from the trailers, Optimus Prime has basically turned into a bad guy, right? So Optimus Prime comes back. is beating the crap out of Bumblebee, right? Properly beating the crap out of him. And then suddenly Bumblebee, with his own voice, says, Optimus, I will do anything for you. Like the Martha, it's like a Martha moment, right? And then Optimus, suddenly his eyes change and he becomes good again, and he's like Bumblebee, I haven't heard that voice since Cybertron. And it's like, firstly, how did he speak because he got no voice box? Secondly, how did you suddenly get your voice back?
Wait. So he then turns good because he hears Bumblebee's voice.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He turns good. Okay, so that's one of the lowlights. One of the other absolute horrendous things in this, right? Megatron basically goes. This is Bay has watched too many films, right? Megatron basically goes and he goes up to the army and says, "I want some of my boys released. If you want me to go and fight against this Cybertron that's coming to destroy it." So they have this scene, right? And basically he chooses some of the most stupidest Decepticons that you've never heard of. This like weird, really racial stereotype kind of ones. And each one really horrendous. Like there's one who's like a basically you can tell is like a big black guy with a chain on and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, he's robbing a bank and stuff. It's so racist. So racist, right? And then basically he goes, under each and every single one of them, you'll have the Decepticon will come, and then there'll be a thing underneath saying Onslaught and a list of every single one, like in Suicide Squad, of the things they've been arrested for. And they do that for 4 Decepticons. And it's like, just before that, they've had a tonally bit where it's really, really dark, and then suddenly they jump into that. It's so out of place and so stupid. It's without doubt the worst film you'll see.
I want to know more about the good stuff that you've been watching because...
Well, quickly, how many stars do you give All Eyes on Me, and how many stars do you give...
Oh yeah, I mean, so Transformers is 0.5 out of 10 without a shadow of a doubt. It's awful. It's awful.
Wow. So what else did you see then?
So I saw Spider-Man, which obviously we're going to come to in a moment.
Oh yeah.
But I also saw Okja, and Okja was...
Netflix.
Yeah, Okja was good. I didn't watch it on Netflix, but I did...
So you're another cheapskate then? You don't pay for Netflix?
Yeah, man. Silent.
Oh,
probably the person that
you just think all the money that they make from YouTube, they like kick $5 back to like the streaming company.
Wait, you've got free codes for Netflix?
No comment. Anyway, basically, like, yeah. So Okja
Hold on. So is your channel so big that like Netflix are now sending you like?
Oh
review
yeah,
copies?
they're like, can you review this? Can you review this?
So Okja's from the director that did Snowpiercer and the Korean director did a bunch of.
Yes, I flipping love Snowpiercer, man. I've got one of those collector box sets, like £100 collector box. I don't know why I bought it, but it's like got the graphic novel and everything. So when I saw this coming out, I thought definitely gonna watch it. Now, basically the one thing with this is it's kind of got a moral message there in it, and I won't go too much into it because obviously you guys haven't seen it there yet. But it's kind of like they do the moral message pretty much all the way through, and then they kind of forget about it towards the end, and it's just like, right, okay, so why did you do all that stuff there before? It kind of doesn't make a great deal of sense. Otherwise, it's a really kind of nice film about an interaction between animals and humans. A lot of questions that it kind of brings up. The way that we look at animals, the way we look at environment. It is political, but it's not in your face, kind of like inconvenient truth, kind of in your face kind of thing. It's that kind of way. It's a decent enough film, and but it's just I could tell they kind of bottled it at the end. I would say that's the best one that I've seen this week, definitely.
Well, have you been watching Preacher?
I have been watching Preacher. I haven't seen episode 3. I've seen 1 and 2.
So you haven't quite been watching Preacher?
I have been watching Preacher. I just haven't caught up with all the episodes that are available.
Well, you were the one that suggested week.
Well, I knew Silent wasn't going to watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, will you guys give me until next week to catch up?
Every week.
There'll be like an additional episode by then.
No, I swear, man. Next week you guys could hold me to it.
Say that what's left.
And then was it the following week you've got Game of Thrones starting? So that'd be like 2 shows you have to commit to.
I will commit. because I really want to watch Preacher.
Actually, you know what?
Go on.
What I've got to ask a question. So you've got like Uz here, who's a family man who gets up at the crack of dawn, works all day, yet watches tons of stuff. There's you who works from home,
quote unquote,
who doesn't watch anything.
Do you know how stressful my life is?
That's why you should
Waking
unwind.
up
what
at
pajama
10
shop
o'clock,
you're on,
making breakfast by 11.
10 p.m.
Yeah, 12 o'clock, thinking about what I need to do with the rest of my day, and then taking my girl out. It's extremely stressful, guys. And before, you know, I was watching a lot of content. It's just that now that I'm in a committed relationship, I also have got to give time that way as well. I would have gone to watch All Eyes on Me as well. So like, I would have given you my review.
So I guess mostly you then. So what have you felt about, how have you felt about Preacher this week?
So the first 2 episodes of Preacher, right? So if you imagine like the first season had no direction or little direction.
Come on, setting things up.
It was really the setup. The first 2 episodes really kind of showed you like where the show is going to go and the direction that it's going to take. And I absolutely love. There's a scene in the second episode that really sums up this show. You know, like you've got the guy going around shooting and killing everybody outside.
Yeah.
Preacher runs to the hotel room to get Tulip, and Tulip's just sitting there watching the TV, and then Preacher sits down and starts watching the TV as well.
All the madness going on behind. I love it.
Yeah.
This season's hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Like it's way more eventful. Every episode, some crazy shit happens, and it's still got that quirky style that the first season kind of had in
absolutely
small doses. So yeah, I cannot wait. I would love to just kind of binge this in one big go. Like it's a shame that we are getting it week to week, but it's definitely worth it.
I think this is kind of like one of those sort of shows that probably needs more exposure. It's kind of like when you talk to people, it's not one that they're familiar with, and it really, really deserves to be.
Yeah, they go to hell in episode 3. We get to see more of that dude.
Thanks for the spoiler.
Oh, that dude.
No spoiler. You get to go to hell. It's awesome. Spider-Man, Homecoming. The partnership between Marvel Studios and Sony.
I gotta go.
Hey, where you going? What are you hiding, Peter? I'm just kidding, I don't care. Bye.
Come on, guys. What do you think? What did you think? I'm not seeing enthusiasm. What's going on?
There was a lot of enthusiasm, Eddie. On the day, there was a lot. And you know,
We were gonna do a video review for it, but a camera wasn't working. It wasn't charged on Wednesday, so
I'm glad that you actually admitted that.
I fucked up.
Hands
out, I fucked up.
Oh my god, I've never heard you actually say that.
I own it when I'm responsible for it. So we'll save the review for now. But I'm a little worried. I'm not seeing any sort of fire or sparks. Like no one cared. Like no one. What, you didn't like it?
So I thought one of the most memorable moments for that movie was the opening Marvel titles, where they do like the old Spider-Man music in a orchestral score.
That's your highlight.
That was my highlight of the movie.
Okay, fuck you, Stardom.
Right. Okay. I could go all the way through this, man.
You liked it.
I liked it.
No, you liked
yeah. Okay. I really liked it.
Uzman, DC loyalist. Be honest. Though, look into your
No,
heart.
no,
Look into your heart.
No, honestly, I liked it. Me and Ash were talking about this for long yesterday, but I kind of I know I'm a massive DC fanboy, but I did enjoy it. It's exactly the way that I thought it was going to be. I'll explain whether that is a good thing or positive or negative, obviously a bit later, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it was a bad film, but I'm not going to say it's going to set the world on fire with how great it is.
I know what's wrong with you people. I loved it thoroughly. I had a smile on my face the whole time. This is the first true Spider-Man movie that has been made.
I thought they played it too safe.
Is it the first true Peter Parker though?
And Spider-Man, the world, everything. It hasn't been presented like this before.
The storyline, right, is interesting because there's a lot of people like talking about this. And I'm telling you, if this was on DC, man, this would be all over every single website. So basically, you've got the dude Peter Parker. He's much younger than we've actually seen him in any other iteration of Spider-Man.
As he should be.
As he should be, like the Ultimate Spider-Man, which is on the cartoon at the moment. And he's got a kind of young Asian Chinese kind of little bit chubby mate who loves playing Lego, exactly the same as Miles Morales. Exactly the same.
Little sizes.
No, it's true. But obviously, that's the kind of thing. That's his thing. And there's other little bits in there that are very, very similar to the Miles Morales Spider-Man. I'll tell you, if that was DC, there'll be whitewashing on every single website.
Do you reckon?
Right?
What?
There would be. I'm telling you, because people be like, "Oh, they copied the Miles Morales story."
You're clutching at straws.
I saw this as
Hold on, I've completely lost the point here.
So Miles Morales Spider-Man,
Yeah.
they've basically taken the backstory of the Miles Morales Spider-Man and put it as Peter Parker, which is fine because Peter Parker is the most famous Spider-Man, right? Miles Morales is his uncle was in this, wasn't he? His uncle was in this, right? So, but basically, it's like obviously Miles Morales is black, and if this was in any other kind of iteration, people would be going, "Oh, why are you whitewashing it?"
You're not seeing that they could eventually bring Miles Morales into this world, and it will match up perfectly because they all have the same best friend who will
Not
be his
if Amy
partner.
Pascal's got her way, because Miles Morales Spider-Man is coming out next year.
The animated version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what
And they
she's
could
like.
put that character, the best friend, into that cartoon. That's what I'm saying. Then it will become just regular Miles Morales.
I think like your hatred for Amy is really unjustified because look,
I love Amy.
She's
I love
even
Amy.
trying to bring Venom into the MCU.
I love Amy. Amy's, I tweeted about this last week. I flipping love Amy. Amy for Queen, man. Amy is the biggest troll to Marvel I've ever seen in my entire life.
The thing is, right, does like the general audience, because there's a lot of stuff that we're going into that I feel that the general audience won't care about. They're going to see this as a complete film, all right, which it was.
Exactly.
Start to end, it was very, very good. And the main thing that stood out for me, you had all these amazing characters in it, and they were all developed pretty well. For example, if we take one of the opening scenes, which was when he goes to get his sandwich.
Yeah.
Right. It was nice that
Bodega.
they continued that character from the point of that moment, and then they brought him back for his shop getting blown up.
It felt like a lived-in world.
Yeah, and then you had other characters as well, such as, they could have struck this up with, the crew that he was hanging around with. They developed that story pretty well, and all those characters within that team were pretty awesome. They were pretty good, they were exciting, and even that chick who only says she's there for some weird reason, and she says the line and it just kind of cuts out of it and goes over to somebody else. The nerdy chick.
His buddy.
Yeah. So it's...
Oh, so what, shall we get into... this will be spoilers. We'll presume that you've seen this by now. If you haven't, you're going to have to skip past this. So you're talking about the character that Zendaya plays. Well, she's basically Mary Jane. Turns out to be
Right,
Mary
so
Jane.
that I really don't understand because they call her Michelle and then she says, "My friends
MJ.
call me MJ."
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's just an egg. I think that's just an Easter egg.
But
It's not like actually like she is Mary Jane. I think it's just like an
if
Easter egg.
it's called MJ, then you can't really bring in an
because
MJ later on.
it's isn't it like Spider-Man lore that Peter Parker refers to Mary Jane as MJ a
I
lot?
think they've set it up that she's gonna, because she's also a recognizable within that certain millennial quote unquote audience. She's a recognizable face, so they're not just gonna throw her away. They're gonna keep her, and they've kind of set up this interesting relationship between her and Peter Parker, where he doesn't really appreciate her in that way, but you can see that down the road. You can see him falling for her.
What's the really weird thing between those two is the fact that so they've made Peter Parker 14, but when you look at him, you have absolutely no idea because you keep thinking, is he 16? Is he 17? Zendaya actually looks young, which is like, I just thought it was really, really strange because every time they tell you verbally he's 14, you're like, right, okay, that's why he's a whiny little asshole. Because that's
Why
like
the
that was,
asshole?
that was the most annoying thing about this movie.
Wait,
I
what?
just found Peter Parker so
What the
whiny
fuck?
the whole time.
Fuck you.
I
I
don't
didn't
treat me
feel
like
that at all.
don't treat me like a kid. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's
Peter
just
Parker
like-
was perfect.
It's just like it's so whiny.
So what you
It's,
want?
millennial. It's
So what you want?
millennial.
So what you want? You want a
Spider-Man.
Daniel Garfield misery on a
No, I
skateboarding,
want a
crying
Tobey
in the rain.
Maguire
The shittest.
caliber.
The shittest. The shittest Peter Parker there ever was.
The original big superhero movie.
Right. Okay. Wait.
The,
Sorry. Wait. What? Wait, you found? I'm like kind of lost here. You found him annoying, dude. You know what? He was not annoying. He was basically just needed support
Thank
through
you,
it,
Salah. Thank
right?
you. I knew you.
Yeah,
There's a reason why
exactly.
we were
He needed
friends.
support through from Iron Man, and who was happy? Was it?
Happy.
Yeah, and nobody's fucking getting back to the dude,
No.
right? What do you
Because he's
expect?
14 years old.
He's also a fucking Avenger.
yeah,
He
that,
wasn't an Avenger at that point, though, was he? He has to earn his place on the Avengers
But
team.
he turned up for them in Germany.
He
Got his
did.
ass kicked by Captain America,
Exactly.
and they couldn't even
Exactly.
answer a phone call from
He
the guy.
got his ass kicked, and then he wants to fucking get promoted to being a full-time Avenger. That's just what I really... Every time he was on screen, it was just like, why is this kid whining?
Don't believe you even say that. What did you find him annoying?
No, I'll tell you one thing about... Okay, now it sounds like I've been negative about this. I have been slightly negative about it. But when you look at these films, okay, you got to think who is kind of aimed at. So I went with my daughter, and she was laughing all the way through, pointing at Spider-Man. There was loads of kids around there, you know, loads of different ages, teenagers, younger, all that. They were flipping loving it. I saw kids standing up, you know, laughing, and it's like you think, okay, you can put your critic hat on and you can say, oh, this isn't right, or the timeline doesn't quite work out because why is that 2008 and it you know, this should be happening and blah blah.
What issue timeline did you have?
So the timeline issue of you know, from 2008, I'm gonna have to see
So
it
it's
again.
like, so the Avengers is supposed to take place in 2012. So that's when like the New York got attacked. So that's when all those like alien technology is lying around from.
Yeah.
There's a bit in Spider-Man where it goes 8 years later,
Yes.
which would then mean you're like at 2020, not 2017. Because those movies are supposed to take part in like real time.
2000. You're saying the Avengers took place in 2012. You said.
Yes. Well, they just.
But why are you saying 2008?
That's when
because
the whole
2000, it would have had to have been 2008 if it was 8 years later.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, you could look at things like that and say, okay, that's not quite right. But at the end of the day,
doesn't that mean that the current MCU is in the future then from what we are now?
Well, no, I think
Why
the
is that hard?
timeline's just broken. So I don't know whether it's a typo, whether someone just
They
didn't.
would have thought that out because they never in none of the other Marvel
Pascal
films.
put it in,
In the other
maybe.
Marvel films, they never really established what the year was.
No, but they always go with the assumption that it's happening in real time.
That's an assumption. That's you.
That's not me, mate. This is not something I'm making up. This is something I've read off the internet. Like people are talking about this.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's not reliable.
yeah. But I mean, that's the thing, man. You can look at it like in that way, or you can look at it emotionally, and you can see the way that people get affected emotionally by this film.
Right, use your heart.
And that's the thing. You can see the way these kids were like so into this thing, right? And you could tell they're going to be going home. Adults. But you can see also they'll be going around and they'll be going home and people will be jumping off sofas and flipping. You know, it's going to be that character really, really is going to be in the hearts and minds of, you know, those people who got emotionally involved into it.
See, that doesn't make sense because I think you've gone like a really long way to say, well, this movie's made for kids, so lower your expectations.
No, I'm saying...
But if you like cut around all the things that he's just said there...
I didn't say that. He said it just resonated a lot
What
with
I'm saying
kids.
is...
You can have movies
And
resonate
adults.
with kids and adults.
And adults.
Without like your main...
Look at any of the reviews. This movie is love. It is love.
The best, the only review that matters is mine.
So look, I wanna sort of touch upon a few people here and then I heard from yourself that you were telling me that they were like saying Michael Keaton's performance as the bad guy wasn't, you know, it was all right, it wasn't great.
Some people, some of the reviews.
So
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I enjoyed it. I liked. I know it was slightly a bit of an easy motive, if you like.
Yeah.
But I liked that. You know, here's a guy who's trying to make a living, you know, and then gets fucked up by the government, and then decides, you know what, fuck you guys. Yeah. Fuck you guys. You know what? I'm just gonna steal your shit. That's it.
It was a grounded motive. That's what I liked. It wasn't too over the top. We're no world destroying.
But just before, like, just, you know, you're like, okay, well, this is fine, this is good. And then I think it was it like a half an hour or 45 minutes towards the end?
Prom, when we goes to pick up his prom date.
That was a wicked. I love that reveal, man. I thought it was a really, really good plot point because I didn't see that coming.
So I think there's nothing wrong with Keaton's motive. That was absolutely fine. I think he just didn't get a chance to shine. There wasn't enough in that script to make use of him. But that bit in the house, that was awesome. Peter Parker's acting, Michael Keaton's, like, the whole thing was just, that was probably the best part of the film.
For me, that was the best part.
And then in the car when he's dropping the two of them off to prom, and he just figured I like that the cogs were going. We don't always see. I don't want to turn this into a Marvel DC thing, but I can't avoid the comparison in that with BVS we've got Lex Luthor. I always want to say Luger because fucking wrestler. Lex Luger, who figures out or mysteriously knows who Superman is and who Bruce Wayne, Batman is. It was never explained, and it annoyed the fuck out of me. With this, we get to see him figuring it out and putting two and two together and putting the connections together.
But at the same time, when you talk about a pacing for a movie, it was a nice switch. You know, you're getting comfortable with the movie, and then they just drop this moment that you're like, I sat up in my seat. You saw me sit up. I was like thrown back into it, full excitement.
I reckon on repeat viewings, you'll find this movie doesn't hold up as well as some of the others.
That's what I'm. So I actually agree 100% with Mo. I think it's one of those things that you watch it once, you have your fun. As soon as you start watching it a few times, kind of like Force Awakens, you start picking up all these silly things in it, which Mo will not agree with me on. But then it will be like you'll suddenly start thinking, oh, this doesn't add up. This is a little bit iffy.
I remembered it.
That's the Winter Soldier. When you watch the Winter Soldier again, you're like, bloody hell, that is a good film.
Mo is look. I'm gonna side on Mo here with Mo here because check this out, because I was gonna take after I did enjoy it a lot. But after watching, I didn't want to go back in to watch it. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to give it a day or two, relax, see how I feel. My nephew asked me the other day, he goes, look, Uncle, can we go to watch Spider-Man? I said, nah, man, nah. Ain't going to watch Spider-Man. I want to see some TV shows.
Horrible uncle.
to catch up.
Oh, let's go watch this goat. This goat stuff on Castlevania.
Said, let's watch some porn, uncle. Yeah. Come and sit here next to me.
Oh, what a sickening
Spider-Man porn. Yeah. This is the one where, what's that chick that Peter Parker was trying to get? Yeah, Liz. Was it Liz?
Yeah.
See, this is the one where Liz and Peter Parker get it on.
God.
This is the
They're
one.
14-year-old kids.
Oh,
man.
shit, yeah. I forgot. I forgot. Sorry. You made that back. Completely forgot they're 14-year-old kids.
Completely admitted it.
You knew
I've had my CRB check, so guys, I'm going to declare.
That's horrendous.
Yeah, it's see, you seem to be agreeing with me here. Like, you're ever so slightly like, yeah, I'm not rushing back to the theatre to want to watch that.
Hey, look, what you're saying, I disagree with the whole whiny side of it, and I enjoyed the movie.
I reckon you watch it again, you will see that, because once I latched onto it, I couldn't see anything else. Or it just seemed
the Ferris Bueller thing was cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was quite.
That was always the inspiration for John Watts, who made this. Was that he wanted it to be like a John Hughes movie,
but like
so it has that 80s.
But Ferris was not whiny. Ferris, you watched that and like, I want to be Ferris.
I didn't.
You didn't want to be Ferris. You wanted to be Cameron, didn't you?
I can't even remember.
The other thing to look at is that there were some really cool moments between Peter Parker and I've forgotten the guy.
Robert Downey.
Yeah, there was some really, really good moments.
This made Robert Downey Jr. likable to me again, because I'd started to get to a point where I was kind of annoyed with him, just sick of seeing him. But I enjoyed seeing him in this movie. No one else did, okay?
No. I thought him and Happy really helped tie this to like the to the MCU, and I'm not entirely sure what they were doing at the end there, because they seem to have brought like pepper pots back into like the.
Yeah, first we're supposed to believe that they made up after they were supposed to have broken up in the.
It's well, I'm assuming like are they building up to something? Is she gonna like buy the farm in like one of the Avengers movies? So they're trying to like sow the seeds there to make like Iron Man or Robert Downey a bit more human. Also thought I thought there would be a little bit more of him trying to perv on Aunt May, but they didn't really seem to have gone down
that would have
that.
been nice.
They didn't really play on that much.
Oh boy, I think you went in thinking it's a different film, didn't you?
I was expecting that. I wanted a bit of that. I wanted a bit of action with Aunt May.
What do you guys think
days.
of
I think most people would have liked a bit of action with Aunt May.
She just doesn't age, that woman, does she? It's like
She holds up well, definitely. Fine wine. What about the buddy then? His best friend. I thought he definitely brought a lot of. He lightened up the.
No, I was going to say yes, right, but now you know what Mo said about finding a character annoying.
Oh, you found him annoying.
I liked his character.
Yeah, I can see that though.
I fucking found him so annoying, especially in that scene where they're in the gym. And
Yeah.
he's like, don't tell anyone. And he fucking just, or at the party.
When he just wanted to tell people. I did, yeah.
He hands down had the best line in the movie though. Right, so when he's sitting at the dance, he's on the computer, and the teacher turns up, and he's like trying to turn the computer off, and he goes, "I'm watching porn."
A lot of jokes in this. It was way funnier than I expected it to be.
Even with the ending, I even like before the end credits where old Keaton is walking down, as a prisoner now.
Yeah.
And that line of "I know who Peter Parker is." Yeah, it was a nice because that connects with me. That's like, okay, well, what's going to happen is when he gets out, is there going to be some point in the movie where he saves his life?
Because somebody still wants to make the
because
movie. So they're gonna need him, so they couldn't have killed him off.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because like Peter Parker's now, or Spider-Man rather, has screwed over this dude and got him put into prison.
Yeah, but
he wants to kill him himself. He doesn't want to let anybody else have the.
And the other thing is that he also knows that like Peter will protect his family. Because like that's what I got from it.
Definitely. Okay, then so let's get star ratings.
But before we give star ratings, I have a question for you guys, right?
Oh God.
If you were trying to go out with this really hot chick, all right, and you found out, and you're a superhero, and you find out that her dad is a supervillain, would you go grass him up?
How is that going to help my cause by making her? You just like to see women depressed. That's the thing with you. You want to break their self-esteem, break their heart, so that they run to you damaged, so you can be the one to fix them and rebuild them and have control, so they rely on you for everything.
I thought it would be a nice touch, man. I would. I want to grass up her dad.
You're gonna do it.
No, I would want to go out with the chick. We go out. No, I want to grass up her dad. Unless she dumps me, then I would.
Switch.
Anyway, but you could go on to your star ratings now.
Uzman?
7 and a bit.
Nah,
solid.
Out of 5.
Out of 5, 3.75. 3.75.
I'm looking at Mo, man. I really want to know Mo's. Go on, Mo.
I would say it's around about a 3.25.
Oh, wow!
I would say it's not.
It hurts.
Okay, I'm looking at this as an overall film, general audience. Did I like it? Yes, I did all the way through. So I'm going to give it a 4-star.
Okay, I can live with that. And I'll give it 4.9.
4.9.
4.9.
I enjoyed it. It just had a smile on my face. Maybe because I did love Spider-Man as a kid. And this is the truest representation of the character and the world that we've had.
When are you going to go and watch it again? Are you planning to go and see it again?
Popping probably Wednesday.
I would be interesting to see your thoughts after a second viewing.
Okay, next podcast, you shout.
And I want to hear it in interrogation mode.
See, that was one of the fun scenes.
Oh,
I
actually,
love that scene.
Don't you think they went a little bit overboard with what his suit can do? It's almost like it's an Iron Man suit at that point.
I was thinking that for a while, but then I realised that by the end, that it was going to be stripped down of all of that. And even when he gets the suit back, I've got a feeling it's going to be a very low stripped down
Because
version.
you're kind of thinking, where is all that technology packed into that
Well,
suit?
if that suit had so much tech towards the end when he was going to go out in front of the press, could you imagine how much tech that fucking
The
suit
Iron
would have?
Spider suit, yeah, I forgot about that. That was the mythical Iron Spider suit. Everyone was like wondering, are we going to get to see it? Probably means nothing to you guys, but anyone who's read the Civil War comic book, you'll be very familiar. So I don't care what you people say. It was great. No taste. Disgraceful. All three of you. Okay, the team behind Netflix's Castlevania is making an Assassin's Creed animated show.
Oh, I read this earlier in the week, and I was like, I had absolutely no interest in watching anything Assassin's Creed. I have now. After seeing Netflix on the, after seeing Castlevania on Netflix, I really want to see this.
The potential is crazy. There's no limitations on the budget. Depending on what model they go for, whether they take the same thing as Castlevania, just doing 4 or they do 5 or 6. Being able to spread that story out.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way of testing the water, because you get like 4 episodes, you've pretty much got like a 90-minute animated movie there.
Do you think there was a point where they were talking about doing an Assassin's Creed TV show? Do you think this is going to replace that? This is what their TV show is going to be?
Quite possibly, yeah. I could imagine this being it, because you're not going to want an animated show and a live action TV show going at the same time.
Then it does take place in different eras and points in history, so they could just jump around.
Well, look, the movie was complete garbage, right? Yeah. After watching, I saw a little bit of it and had no interest. And when this topic originally came up about, okay, we are going to head down the TV route, I was fine with that. But after watching Castlevania, I think this is the perfect direction to head down, because, like you said, the boundaries now are freaking endless to what they could do with this in seeing it in an anime form.
I'm looking forward to it. No dates yet. This is probably like a 2020.
So this literally got announced, but if it's only 4 episodes, I mean, the way and if it is all being animated out like in the Far East, they have a really quick turnaround time for those sort of things. Like you go and read about like how anime is made, and literally people get paid peanuts and are worked like to the bone. It's like almost like slave labor being an animator in
I
that
think
industry.
we should do an anime then if it's so cheap. like something to think about, guys.
Actually, we figured out how much would it cost to hire.
Dude, I'm telling you now, let's get down there. Let's just find people that could draw an anime.
It probably still runs into the hundreds of thousands to make like a series.
Oh, but even just like a short film.
Listen, I reckon we should experiment here. 10 minutes, you know what?
So are you saying like you like the idea of the slave labour and the cheap wages?
Hey, look, they get paid. It'd be enough to feed themselves.
So I actually read like an article last year about like an artist, right? And the amount they get paid. Like, it is less than what, like, minimum wages here. Like, those guys struggle to live.
Cost of life is lower as well. That's
in
fine.
Japan.
The balance is out.
Listen, we'll start the day with a hug.
They eat sushi. It's all raw anyway. They're alright.
Mo will go fishing, yeah. Yeah, and there you go. Like, that's how we'll feed them. I think it's a really good idea. I'm not even fucking joking, guys. I reckon we should get down there.
It's really animated in Japan, though, most of the time.
So actual anime, I think is still in Japan, but like a lot of the Western stuff is like is outsourced to like China and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Telling you, that's my next project, man.
I may look into have me have to join you on this or something.
Yeah, well, you're more than welcome to join us.
I don't know anything about Castlevania or about Assassin's Creed.
Animation. Just think about finding all these artists who can draw and animate, just paying them hardly anything.
Leave your morals at home.
That could be the plot of a film.
Yes.
Rather than actually making misery out of people who are already in misery.
Yeah.
Well, you actually get a lot of like there are I don't know if it's a subgenre. But you do get like animes about anime artists.
And how much of those people get paid? Probably even less.
Yo, everyone's talking about the new Deathnote trailer. I have yet to see it. Sam, you reckon I can bring it up on your phone or something? Have a look at this.
You want to wait? Did I hear you correctly? You want to see the Deathnote trailer?
Yeah, you three have seen it. I haven't seen it. So
no, Eddie, look, please bring it up. I don't think you should watch it.
Let me be the judge.
You might get nightmares.
So, Deathnote, the legendary anime show, one of the best ever in my opinion, is getting a Netflix adaptation, live action adaptation. And people seem to be mixed on it. Even the director commented saying that changes the story quite a bit by setting it in the West, by putting it in America.
All right, I've got it for you, man. But I'm warning you.
So it's the full trailer, not the teaser.
This is the extended version.
Extended trailer.
Alright, get a volume up and let me see this.
All right, okay.
All the people that make life miserable.
Guess that's
Make
life.
life dangerous. What if we can change things?
I keep forgetting it's a film, not a show.
The human whose name is written in stone shall die. Shall we begin? You're a death god. Yes. What exactly can I do with this Deathnote? Put your name down and see what happens. It's not gonna solve a few crimes. It's gonna solve all crime. Do you think that I'm crazy?
I think you're not crazy enough. We could change the world.
The killer is taking credit for over 400 deaths.
Yo.
Although we do not know how he kills his victims, we do know he's not some omnipotent force. He's a person, like you or me. You're the one who flew into the sun. I'm just here to make sure you burn. We're not the good guys anymore.
Oh, you know what you're doing.
I promise you, you will not survive.
What they want is a gun. So let's give it to them.
I don't know what you're moaning about. It don't look that bad.
See? I said that. I said it don't look that bad.
It's different. Like, I'll concede to that. It's different than the source material, but it had to be. It's in Seattle, it's in America, it's different
That's
values.
not my problem with it. My problem with it is that actor, alright, it looks incredibly cheap. And look at L. Look at L, how bad L looks as well. Just wearing
So
that
were you
mask, sitting on the
expecting him
chair.
to
Because he has to hide his identity
Yeah,
so that they can't
I get that,
find
but
out
just-
who he is.
just
That was
look-
the whole point. Remember the concept of it.
work, man.
Yeah, but this is the problem, isn't it? When I say, like, when you're adapting anime, like, a lot of those, like, characters look so unhuman-like, yeah? And look strange. So it's not the fact that the L in this looks strange, it's the fact that L as an anime character just doesn't look human.
Yeah, you think you're hooked up, I think you're getting too hung up on the original style of...
Well, you know what? There's a lot. This is my problem with it. Is that okay? The original was so good, so good. Even the lines in that trailer, all over the place, didn't sit well.
bad to me. The lines didn't seem that bad to me. The way it's directed, I think it did. I'm interested.
Does somebody who's not seen the anime, does
Yeah.
this, like, interest you?
Well, I've watched like one episode and a little bit of the second episode
Got,
of
like, so
Deathnote.
fed up of it, like, just stop watching
I
an
was
episode.
just like, oh, I can't like dedicate my time to watch the entire
Like,
thing.
Is that when you realise there's like 37 episodes?
Yeah, no, it's just like the one of the partners at work, her son is really into it. He's like, you gotta watch this. So I watched it, but then the one thing about anime is that they really do like creepy really well. And I kind of find when you watch these things, the live one, it's like the creepiness goes away and it just makes it feel a little bit stale. So when I was seeing this, I was like, okay, even though I've only really watched, 1 and a bit episodes, it's like, it just looks like the same old kind of, trying to chase after a killer like they have in so many other kind of other programs. And that creepiness and oddness factor that you get from the anime is just gone, and it makes it less interesting.
Well, it depends, because we don't know how much of the story from the anime they're going to put into it, but if they do quite a bit, the way that they're chasing off this cat and mouse is going to be very different from anything you've probably seen in anything else. Just the concept on its own is very unique.
In my mind, I'm assuming that they are making this with the assumption that there'll be a part 2 and 3, because you can't really condense that whole story into 90 minutes or something.
For me, watching this, in my head, I'm almost thinking that it's not even the same. Obviously, it is the same characters from the anime, but in my head, I'm like re-editing, and it's almost like these are a different set of people. This is a different Deathnote that's dropped down on Earth, and this is just a whole other story. It's just it's fine. It works fine to me.
But how can you even think that when you know you're actually seeing it from that? You can't. It's just so bizarre that you're actually looking at it from the point that
there are other Deathnote animes out there, and they have, and that's what it's the different books from different.
But this is made for. Okay, I'm finding it really difficult even right now, trying to understand that how you're fine with this. It doesn't, and even with Mo,
hold on, this is a trailer, so you can't be fine with it until you've seen the final product.
Okay.
But the trailer says, I'm still interested in seeing the final product.
Because I've also seen the Japanese live action film, the original trilogy, so I've seen an adaptation that is directly of the cartoon. So I've seen that the benefits and the pitfalls of doing that, so I'm okay now seeing this version that takes more different liberties.
I thought that trailer was trying to play with your emotions more than anything. It wasn't working for me, so they thought, okay, let's crank it up with a bit of music. That didn't quite work. I could see that coming a mile away. There was just so many things that were wrong with it. Even the book looked incredibly cheap. At least make that look good. Anyway, and you're saying that there might be a part 2 to it. Say if there's not, let's just go with the assumption of, hey, they're just trying to cram it all into this 90-minute film. That's going to be so lame.
Well,
man.
to be fair, there's a lot of stuff in that 37-episode run that could be taken out. There's a lot.
And the other way to look at it is this: if this isn't a success, Netflix aren't going to renew it for a second season. They're not going to run it, and so we're going to be left with this. This half-made product, as far as I could see.
Well, how many shows suffer from that? Like every show in history.
Yeah, well, you're
so
right,
it's not really an issue. If people don't want, and Netflix they don't work like that. They don't need like hundreds of millions of people to watch it. They just need enough people to watch it.
Sorry, I'm just incredibly passionate. Even you guys could hear it in my voice right now. I'm really, really annoyed about watching this trailer, and I wish it was just when I heard it was going to hit, I was just getting super excited. Now I'm just really disappointed.
Ryan Goslin reportedly wants to play Willy Wonka in a Warner Brothers remake. So, for one, why are they fucking redoing it again?
But why not?
Because we saw the Johnny Depp.
That's not the point.
Fuckeries.
Universe.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna. They want to make another universe.
Oh my god, a Roald Dahl,
Tweedledum, Tweedledee, Alice in Wonderland. Put them all in one bloody.
It'll be a Roald Dahl universe.
Yeah.
BFG was
Twits,
the beginning. Yeah.
The James and the Giant Peach. Put them all in one thing.
That's actually a really good point.
They all go to battle Unicron at the end, kind of thing. Maybe they're doing that. Maybe that's the thing. But that vexes me, because instead they should have gone up to him and said, mate, do you want to play Nightwing? Or do you want to go and, same company, they could have chosen 100 other things, or Green Arrow or something.
See, I know you're only really mentioning DC stuff there, but you sure
it's Warner Brothers.
True.
That's what I'm saying.
True.
Warner Brothers, it's like, okay, I want to do Willy Wonka. Well, actually, why don't you do Green Arrow instead, mate?
Well, maybe he wants there to be more good stuff, so that not as an insult, but he just trusts that he can jump into that and it will work.
But the last Charlie and the Chocolate Factory compared to the Gene Wilder one,
it was
bad. Like
horrible, horrid.
And Ryan Gosling looks too much of a pretty boy to play Willy Wonka. Because Willy Wonka needs to look a little bit strange.
No, but you've seen the early films of Ryan Gosling. He did Weirdo very well. Did you ever? What was that one where he was in love with the real doll? The sex dolls, the silicone ones that look real. There was a movie where he fell in love with one. I forgot what it was called, but it was amazing, and he was a fucking weirdo in that.
Okay, but on the drive here, we were having this conversation that has he done anything that is similar to that sort of character? Anything like fantasy-wise, and he hasn't, and it would have been. I don't mind it because I think he could pull it off because he's a really good actor. Yeah.
yeah, maybe he just wants to do something different. He's fed up of doing the brooding, miserable roles as every single one he seems to be. So now he wants to do something a little lighter.
Yeah, and I want to see another version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And have they said who's gonna potentially be directing this or not?
Yeah, that's
because if they got what's that guy's name? The one who done Neon Demon and the other one that Ryan Gosling was in, Nicholas something.
No, he can't do it.
He could do like the weirdest.
Oh, it would be fucked
it
up.
Would be it would be the weirdest.
Bites of chocolate and all dissolve into spiders and all sorts of fucked up shit.
It would be the craziest Willy Wonka ever. It's like a prequel and it tells you why he's gone so messed in the
I would
head.
like to see that.
Why he's gone so screwed up. It's because of this, man.
You know, should do it. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
He should
Pan's Labyrinth type style, yeah.
He could balance that line of still making it family film, but making it a little creepy, a little dark as well. Yeah. The Batman director Matt Reeves has an idea for a story arc that will span a trilogy. I'm loving this. I'm loving that he legitimately seems to have a solid amount of creative control, that he can even talk about the fact that he's got all these ideas which we could maybe see.
I'm sure he's allowed to talk in like generalist terms. Like, did he actually say what the idea is?
Well, obviously he's not going to give it away.
So,
and he also said that he is focusing on the one film first. You know, you get the ball rolling. But that was the whole part of that whole negotiation of him getting that role as director in the first place, is that he wants a certain amount of control, which they weren't willing to give him at first.
And I'm sure as he starts to shoot the movie, we'll probably start to hear about creative differences on the set. We'll probably hear that like they're just not getting on, and he'll depart. Because if he's obviously got all this creative stuff that he wants to do over 3 movies, that's probably going to make somebody really nervous during the filming, and they're going to panic, and they're going to say, "Hold on, you need to scale this back."
No, but if you've seen the reviews for Planet of the Apes, War of the Planet of the Apes, through the roof, and this is the same director.
I'm sure it's a really good film. The other 2 are very, very good.
He's proved that he can do it.
But like, you know, there's still the possibility that he starts doing a trilogy of films in his head, right? So he starts making the first one, he starts setting it up for a trilogy, and somebody in a suit somewhere is like, "Whoa, hold on here,
slow down."
Exactly. So there's the potential, but like Warner Brothers don't seem to have the vision
or the track record.
As
the person most invested, Uzman. How do you feel about it?
And I would say, probably from Usman's point of view, Warner Brothers and DC are like 2 separate entities, even though Warner Brothers make the movie.
That's the thing. That's what I've always.
So I mean, one of the things that he did say that I found quite interesting was he said it's going to be very emotional, right? So all the other stuff that he was saying, you know, he's got an idea for a trilogy. He didn't really give too much information about it, but the fact that he said it's going to be very emotional just gives me an idea that there's only one route really that they can go down. They can't obviously do the parents dying because they've already done that, and that's already been in BVS.
Death in the family, you reckon?
Exactly, yeah. Basically, they've got to go down the Jason Todd route, because just if you go on YouTube and you go on to like, you know, top 5 most emotional scenes in DC animated films, or top 10 most scenes, in the top 1 or 2, most of the time you'll get that bit where basically Batman comes, Jason Todd Red Hood is there, he's got the Joker, and he's like, "Why didn't you kill him? You know, I was, you know, basically all these other guys, you know, I understand that you wouldn't kill the Riddler, you wouldn't kill the Penguin, but this guy's killed so many people and he killed me. Why did you not do it?" That would be, if they really make the audience invested in Jason Todd Robin towards the start, it will be so emotional, because it'll be like, "Oh my god, why didn't he kill that scum Joker?" You know, it will really, really tug on the heartstrings. It'll be kind of like when in Apes, obviously he didn't do the first one, but when he's confronted, Caesar is there, and he kind of chooses the apes over James Franco, and James Franco's face, and it's kind of like they had that emotional. I can imagine something like that happening with a Jason Todd.
He also said, Matt Reeves said, he's going to take inspiration from Hitchcock. It's going to be very noirish, and he's also taking inspiration from what Nolan did. So all of that's, I'm so excited, man. I don't think he can fuck this up at all.
So I'm not too familiar with the story that you just spoke about, right? So does he? So the Joker, he kills Robin.
So basically, Batman and Robin are trying to track down down these kind of terrorists, right? And basically Robin goes in on his own.
The second Robin,
which is Jason Todd, who is who has huge amount of potential, but he's very haphazard, right? Yeah. So he goes to fight the Joker himself. The Joker traps him, ties him up, beats the crap out of him with a crowbar, basically.
Tricks him with his mum as well.
Yeah, toys around with him, all this kind of stuff. And Batman figures out kind of where he is and like just goes after him. And there was an actual vote that they had when the comic books came out, you know, whether they wanted to kill off Jason Todd or not. And basically DC fans, being really kind of morbid, decided to kill Jason Todd off. So the storyline ended with basically Batman getting there too late and Jason died.
Right. So okay.
You remember that comic? I see Robin's bloodied face.
Yeah. So Mo, hearing that story, right, and if they do go down that route, would this be something that you're interested in? Because you came very late to the Batman movies. You never enjoyed them. You know, the old school ones do. You know, the Chris Nolan movies.
I watched the first Chris Nolan one in the cinema. I've got a copy on Blu-ray up there.
Well, then number 2 and then number 3, you just saw
I watched number 3 really late.
Yeah.
Because I had no interest in it by then. But
and then you said you didn't see the second one until recently.
No, I saw the second one. I just didn't really sort of like, wasn't into it as much as everybody else.
All right,
that's why I had to watch it again to kind of like see what
it's about. So does that excite you?
Nothing excites me until I see something visual. Like, it's all well here, like talking about it, but we have no idea that that's what's going to happen.
No imagination.
Oh, fucking heck, man. It's not
like
my brain dead.
I don't like to like get drawn in like suppositions or like maybes. Like when we see something.
Why don't we just flip back a couple of episodes and listen to Mo talk about maybe on Star Wars? You know you go completely mad about that shit.
Maybe what about Star Wars?
Yeah, that's what you when you're talking about maybe this could happen in Star Wars, that could happen. You're always talking about that.
I don't remember saying that at all.
Go back. We will find it.
I think that's you. You're like me. They've got
I do that all the time. I do that. Listen, I ain't fucking getting away from it all the time.
And then you're always disappointed when you go to see the final product.
Absolutely.
Green Lantern Corps may end up being helmed, let me get the word out right, by Rise of the Planet of the Apes, like we say in the first director of the Planet of the Apes films, Rupert Wyatt. So that means David Goyer is out. Thank God.
So this was debunked yesterday.
Why?
Basically, you know Humberto Gonzalez from The Rap?
Oh,
he is a very typical guy who releases information and then retracts it the day later. So he put out this thing about Rupert Wyatt. They're basically saying that he's going to be Green Lantern Corps, whatever. Released all this stuff about, okay, we've got, Hal Jordan, we've got Jon Stewart in there. We've also got the Yellow Lanterns in it, blah, blah. And then the next day, he released a tweet saying, by the way, it doesn't seem like that's got any truth to it.
Do you think the problem is Rupert Wyatt went into Warner Brothers to discuss the possibility of working on a movie, a DC movie, maybe even the Green Lantern thing, and he just got way too ahead of himself?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We were talking about this yesterday, me and Ash. We're basically like, Green Lantern Corps is so far away. I mean, they've got... there's pretty much nothing next year until Aquaman, although I am 99.7% certain they're going to announce Gotham City Sirens in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
That is going to be released next year.
Comic-Con, yeah,
because Catherine Winnett, who everybody thinks is going to be Black Canary, put on Twitter saying there is going to be a special announcement of a project I'm working on in 2 weeks' time.
So
she's going to be Black Canary.
Happy about that. I love me some Catherine Winnick. You just made my day.
Yeah. So she's been putting up little photos of Black Canary and stuff all over her Twitter over the past few months or so. And then she's like, I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. And she's like, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the special project that we're working on. I reckon, because there's such a big space next year until Aquaman, they're going to announce Gotham City Sirens is going to come out next year.
Yeah.
You have new mail.
Is it time, Mo? Is it that time again?
What you mean for the mailbag?
Yes! It's a mailbag, finally! But there are some people rebelling that want it still to be Salem Sack.
Is it a bulging sack today, or is it a little bit kind of sagging?
Please don't feed into it. Please, just don't encourage him. Well,
Right. So our first one is from one of our long-time listeners, Akila.
What's up, Akila?
And she has some suggestions for our watch-along
Say
episode.
Hello, Akila. We love you.
So last week we mentioned that we want to do some more watch-alongs. So Akila has actually emailed us in with some suggestions. So, any Michael Bay movie. As much as I hate the Transformers franchise, the first movie was enough for me to predict that they will bore the hell out of people by creating more sequels, which makes me wonder why the hell people are still watching it.
Yep.
I would still recommend you guys please do a watch along for any Transformers sequel. The one sequel you hate the most. I would really like to know everyone's opinion and thoughts.
It would have to be the first Wahlberg one, isn't it?
Why does it have to be the sequels? Because the first one's the bloody best one out
That's
of
the
lot
whole
of them.
point, though. If it's shit, then we could laugh at it, and that's what's be entertaining about listening to us do a commentary. That's the whole point.
This last one blows the others out of the water. Literally, it's so bad. I don't know whether you'll be able to watch it in one sitting.
That's the point. That's the comedy.
That's
what's
comedy.
entertaining about us watching it.
Or some old movies from the 90s or 80s which you guys watched as kids and absolutely loved. Your pick, because I heard the episode on Child's Play and I absolutely loved it. Reminded me of the time when I watched Child's Play 2 as a kid. I find the movie funny now, which is weird because that's not how I remember it.
Have you seen the new Chucky? They've made a new Chucky.
No, we were talking about it last week on the podcast.
Yeah,
They do seem to churn these out like once every few years.
We should jump around in it when we do the commentary. Something new, something old. New old.
I'm telling you, man, something like the Monster Squad or like Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe. Monster Squad, you think they have a hard enough for Monster
Oh,
Squad?
I love
Every
that
other
film.
week you
But
just
that's
mention
like, it's like a really memorable one from when I was a kid.
What about The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy?
Oh, that's a terrible film.
You like that?
If you want to do an Eddie Murphy movie, you'd have to do something like Coming to America.
Yeah, Beverly Hills.
And about your recent podcast, Bollywood has female directors like Zoya Akhtar, Aparna Singh. I'm going to butcher all of these names now. Meera Nair and Gura Shind. And Deepa Mehta. Some of the top female directors that I can think of who are serious about their work.
I was very high that day, and that's why I couldn't remember some of those actresses.
What?
Oh, sorry, directors.
Just goes to show, you don't even take us seriously, you're just throwing out random words.
Who was that? Who said that? Melanie?
No.
Who was
So you
that?
know
Was that Akila?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
Oh dear.
Thank you, Akila, for those names.
And then she also says, if it's possible, please try and do a podcast with Melanie.
Oh yeah, no, alright, we're going to get her on then.
Yep. P.S. And about iTunes review. So we know we tell the listeners every week, go to iTunes and try and give us a review. But apparently, it's not possible to do this in every country.
She's in India.
Yeah, so apparently in India, we're not even listed in iTunes because you're not allowed to actually have any podcasts with explicit material.
In India.
Yes. Yeah. So I said we'll probably go away and look at other ways. So this may mean a little bit of work for us because I think we've got to start using our Twitter account and our Facebook account and actually putting content on there. We can then ask people to share those tweets and those posts on Facebook.
Yes.
Which is another way to obviously get us out there.
Harlem should have been doing.
It's just that really difficult life that I live. But I think we need to sit down and think about this and start, sorting out the Twitter handle. So
you're to blame too, Mel, because you don't actually do a lot.
Well, I actually did post something on the Facebook page this week.
I saw that.
What's that?
Oh, it did appear in your feed, did
Yes,
it?
yeah, it did.
All right, perfect. See, that gives me the motivation now.
What was it?
It was just saying Castlevania is now live on Netflix because I was sitting there watching it. But if you do it that way, like the things that you're seeing and doing, you'll like easily fill it up as soon as a new trailer releases. Put it on there, and then Akila just wants to stress like she can't wait for our next watch along.
Okay.
Rightio.
There will be one coming soon.
So, our long-time listener as well, Joker J.
What up?
And he's basically pleading with us to say, hey guys, just listen to your podcast. No disrespect to the female listeners, but to me this section will always be Salim Sack.
Joker, I thought you were like a friend of the show. I thought you were kind of like...
You gave me like a proper shout out at the top.
Yeah.
Do you want to retract that, or do you want to keep it?
Yeah.
So the first two questions that Joker comes up with, we've already discussed already. So the first one is saying, have you heard that Netflix is looking to make an Assassin's Creed anime movie? Anime series. And did you guys see the Deathnote trailer? He seems to agree with Salim that it does not look great.
It looked...
There you go. All right.
So apparently the next season of The Flash will be inspired by the Rebirth storyline, and it will begin 6 months in the future with Barry still gone into the Speed Force.
I don't trust that. They said that last time with Flashpoint. It was nothing like Flashpoint. It was just a travesty. What's the point?
So did you actually see the last episode of...
I didn't bother after you told me what happened. I didn't need to.
So you like being a DC fan? Do you watch The Flash?
I don't watch The Flash. No.
Do you watch any of the DC shows?
No. I watched a few of them, but it's just, I don't know. The TV stuff is hard to get into, and this kind of thing is like, you were saying about annoying characters. Yeah. I find Flash just really annoying. Oh, I'm the fastest. Oh no, you're not. Every single time, it's like there's somebody faster than you. You know.
That is annoying. It's too
it's
many
so
species.
Annoying. Just like fight somebody else for once, you know.
So the next question here is: Mission Impossible director Christopher McQuarrie wants to make an Alexander the Great film. How does Eddie feel about that? Since he stated that he's really into his historical movies.
I love that idea. Christopher McQuarrie, that's how you pronounce it. He's up and down. He's mainly a writer. Did a lot of the Jack Reacher stuff, and the last Mission Impossible. But he's solid. I think move him away from Tom Cruise, give him the ability to spread his wings. And I think there still is a lot to be told there with Alexander the Great. So that would be an amazing film, I reckon.
I've always wondered why there hasn't been a really big budget adaptation of anything of like Julius Caesar.
There's been so many.
Julius Caesar like a proper like one for modern times.
It has been told a lot, even in TV, so I don't really know there's much space there. But I guess it will happen again soon.
Roman universe, which will come at some point.
Yeah, now that's the one I'd love to go and see. And apparently, Alicia Silverstone says that she should be recast as Batgirl in the DCU.
These people are ridiculous, man. Last week we were speaking about what's his face, Wesley Snipes, saying that he still wanted to be back. And now we got her saying that she still wants to be back. Come on, people, what's wrong with you?
Do you guys remember Alicia Silverstone's like entrance in the original Batman movies?
It was the most ridiculous thing.
She travels all the way from England to see her grandpa or uncle or whatever, but she's in her school uniform. She has travelled across the Atlantic on a plane. Till this day, that's the only thing I remember about that movie.
When she was allowed to hang out with Batman and Robin without any training.
And on a side note, if you haven't seen the Honest trailer for Amazing Spider-Man 2, you should. It's brilliant. Nice little connection between Amazing Spider-Man, Transformers, and the new Mummy.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
I'll go and check it out now.
Weird trailers are good. That guy that does it, Aldo, he's really good.
That is the end of our mailbag section.
Well, it must be it. We're coming to an end. Oh, so where can they find any of you guys? Your work, your social media. Plug it now.
We should give it to our guest first.
So yeah, you can find me on Views from the Cave YouTube channel. If you like DC, then yeah, you can go there.
Only DC, pure bias.
Pure bias. Yeah, if you want it, 100% bias. Yeah, but we have Ash on there as well, and he does put up a fight for Marvel sometimes.
Well,
you can find me, I think, on Bodyfalls, and I might start. Yeah, I think. Yeah. And you might be able to find me starting to tweet on our Twitter handle.
So when was the last time you were on Bodyfalls?
The last time I was on Bodyfalls, I can't remember. It's been such a long time.
So you shouldn't really be plugging yourself as being on there.
Well, you said if people want to find me, they can still find me there. They just go back into the archives. That's what I'll be.
And I'm Mo, knowledgeable Mo, and I dedicate all of my time just to this show, just to our fantastic listeners.
And I made a race, and you probably can't for a while still see me on the first take or riff.com and blah 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 blah.
What's our What's our email address again?
So if you want to email us, guys, email us at tatmpodcast@gmail.com.
And also, I have been thinking, although I've been slacking a bit on Twitter, if you want me to start up an Instagram page so you can see exactly what we get up to, let us know, put it down, and I will consider it.
You can never do the stuff that we've got. So
It's easy. The reason why is that I've got this new phone and takes wicked pictures, so I want to test it out, and I thought, why not start with...
Who uses Instagram, man? Isn't that just like for kids and overpaid celebrities?
Everyone uses Instagram.
We want to get
overpaid celebrities. And I don't think we want kids listening to us, because like we'll have their parents saying this is obscene filth.
You invest in the future. Kids are the future. So that's it for another week. Talking out of movies. Later, guys.
Peace.